But anyway, we're talking about the one, the only hardtail Stratocasters.
Bam.
What is going on back there?
Nothing.
Somebody's like, what is that guitar?
It's just-
I want it. Too bad it's already sold. But yeah, well, first off, before we get into this, if you got the time, click subscribe, click that bell, click the thumbs up too. That makes us happy. Jonathan's,
The like button.
your self-worth sort of depends on how many likes we get.
Absolutely.
Per video.
Yes, yes.
Thank God they took away the dislikes, because if you got one, it would just devastate him.
I would be, cry for
I
days.
can't imagine disliking anything. But anyway, it's another time.
Yeah, no, I don't know that I've ever done that.
I
don't know if I've
disagree.
ever-
I don't want a hardtail Strat. Thumbs down.
I would just like leave the video. You know?
Right. It's like if I'm at a
Right.
restaurant and like I was like, I didn't really love the food. I don't go home like, I'm gonna vlog about this and write a review. Anyway.
Or maybe if like the performer wasn't patriotic enough and you would write like a Google review.
That's a funny story. We'll tell it later. Okay, so hardtail Strats. What am I holding right now is a 1974 Fender Stratocaster hardtail. This is a really cool piece. It's got some different, it does have different woods like right there. You can see it really hard right there. That's why I'm doing that on purpose. But I think this guitar it weighs nothing. Hold this.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, it doesn't. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. A 70s Fender is normally like an anvil.
It should be
Give me that thing.
3 times as heavy.
It's got the famous three bolts here, which, you know, is for better stability.
Micro tail adjustments. Yeah.
That's good. Anyway, why would you get a hardtail? And the bigger question is, why not? So what would make you want to get a hardtail? I have my own things too, which we might be saying.
Well, I think it's cool to be able to do all the little bends where you don't bend yourself out of tune.
That's one of my biggest things.
You know?
Because I play a lot with like open drones.
Yes.
Like in the key of D and the key of E. I love the majors. And so I work a lot within those open sort of major scales.
It's true. It is.
Yeah, I think that's a big aspect, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah.
Sonically, these sound different than a trem guitar, in my humble opinion. It plays differently as well. Besides the droney part, there's a little snap to it.
Well, there's like a sponginess to a Strat, right? When you have the
Yes.
trem moving and the string. You know what I mean? There's like this give. And to me, that is part of what gives a Strat its sound, right? I feel like you actually hear that. Yeah, and it's different. Same pickups, but different.
Yeah, this guitar, or any, like, I just grabbed this one because I thought this was the coolest version of a hardtail we had sitting around right now, even though I think it's going off to somebody else.
I believe all those things are true.
It makes me sad. I thought about keeping it. I was like, I can't keep every guitar. I want to.
I was impressed with this when we got it. For you know, not even just, I was going to say, for a 70 Strat.
Anyway, sonically, it does. It has a little bit, it has a little bit of that's a snappier attack to it.
Yes.
And that's a very unique way. It works differently than it does with the Telly, with those pickups. It interacts very differently with the sonic landscape of what you can do. So it is, if you are sort of straddle between a Strat and a Telly of what you like, and like, this is sort of right there.
You and I talked about this the other day. I've thought about this, that I kind of want a 50s style Strat. Now I was thinking a hardtail might be fun because I do love Tellys, but I find myself playing a Strat a lot lately, and that might be the perfect sort of middle ground for me.
It is tricky for me because you mentioned the sponginess of like the trem, like when you bend, like I do like that a lot. That's one of the things I miss with the Telly.
Well, I mean, I'm not, you know, so it's not that you need to replace your current Strat with a hardtail Strat. You just need a hardtail in addition.
It's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, and honestly too, how many times do you use the trem? Or if you're in England, how many times do you use the wiggle stick?
The old wiggle stick. My wife saw that. Someone wrote that to us in a letter, and I think she thought it was like an obscene thing. I was like, no.
Well, that's what my father used to call it. He's like, time for your wiggle
That's
stick
different.
lessons.
It's all about context. Context clues.
Lights went off, and oh shit, never mind.
I mean, so I use mine a fair amount, honestly, when I play Strat. But I have 4 springs. The bridge is like touching the body, so that when I bend, you know, it's not moving. Yeah, so all I do is push it. I don't pull up.
And I don't use my wiggle stick at all. I'm just gonna call it that from now on for this day. I have my bridge set a little bit above the body, and like I do grab it with my hand a lot or push it. And I do things because I love a washy reverb tone, and like I like to move things that way. Or if I'm playing Lenny, I'll bend it that way. Wow.
It'd be really funny if that just came off.
Sorry, Joe.
Oh my God.
About your. People, I love when we
He's
see,
so strong.
I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted again. I apologize. But I love when people come in and like they're trying out the really high-end tailors, and they'll be,
Don't do that.
I was like, what are you doing? And
Never do
God's
that.
green earth, because you saw this trick on the YouTubes, and you want to do this
Don't
with.
do that when you bar, like when you sit in and you have someone's guitar. Don't do that. What a dick. Don't ever do that.
I know it might be something you do.
That's fine.
But just
You
don't.
know.
I mean, I do things in my own private areas too with the computer
We don't want to get into
that
that.
we will not share
But,
in the public. I'm not going to walk into your place of business and do that. I'd probably end up in jail because I love calypso dancing. Some people say I'm so good at it.
Frowned upon in public. But I mean, even if you set up your trim, back to Strats, even if you set up your trim to not move, block it off, I still think the fact that there's a hole back there and springs makes a difference.
I subscribe to the Clapton school of thought on that one. Like, it's just, I do think there's a sonic difference. I didn't know how awesome a hardtail sounded until I plugged in my first few ones. Not that long ago, like a few years back, honestly. I just sort of always just never really paid attention to them because I was like, I don't want that. It doesn't have the thing in the back. It's
The wang bar.
yeah. So and then I played. I was like, oh, it's a whole. It attacks differently. I don't know if there's a little bit more like brightness to it. Maybe it just everything felt and sounded different. I didn't know what was happening. It's for the player that you've sort of reached like what you think is like a zone where you need something new and fresh. Like, I would seriously consider a hardtail Stratocaster. And I would do it in the standard format of the 3 SSS, 3 single coils, because it's neat sonically. You're going to notice it is not the same thing. There's a little more, like I said, there's a little more, just like immediacy. It's almost like, here's an analogy.
Oh God.
It's like a closed back versus an open back.
That is a good analogy.
In your speaker cab, because I love open back speaker cabinets.
Yes.
And I was having this conversation with Scott Grote over the weekend.
Yep.
And he was like, well, I want to close it or something, or get a closed back to make more bass. I'm like, God, because in my mind, I know this is wrong, an open back has more bass to me. The bass that I like.
What you like here, yeah.
It just pushes it differently. This has that just immediate presence. And if you're in the 2-rock world, it's almost like this is a TS1 versus open back is a classic reverb, or a Bloomfield, where like this has that sort of, it's like the Dumble of guitars to me. Is that the thumbnail? No, but it'd be a cool thumbnail if it was.
Casino Guitar says a 70s hardtail Strat is a Dumble of guitar.
Holy crap!
What?
I only paid $3,800 for that guitar.
Oh Lord!
Or I only paid $4,600, or this guitar was only $8,800. I saw one of these listed in the United Kingdom for $8,800, and I literally spit Coca-Cola out of my mouth laughing. I was like, some people just the nerve. And like maybe it was mahogany finish. I'm like, or stain. It was like the darker stain. I was like, oh Lord,
Ouch.
oh Lord, just stop it. I know you want to get the top dollar, but that's just insanity. Sometimes just sell the guitar at a reasonable price and be happy. God, we're terrible business people.
We are. That's true.
Can I tell another side story?
Yes, you may.
Because do you have anything else you want to tell?
I don't think so.
Like why you love these guitars?
Because they're great.
Are you seriously going to consider getting one?
I really have thought about getting like a maple neck kind of 50 style hardtail.
Would it be like a 2-tone wide phase sunburst or something?
Ooh. I don't know. It could be.
That's one we had like in the shop for like a minute, and I was like,
I know. It was
so good.
Yeah.
No, I had this really neat moment. This guy came in that I haven't seen in like 30-something years, came in the shop over on Sunday, and he's like, hey, I didn't recognize him at first. Like, oh my gosh. He was the guy I was in one of my first bands with.
Oh, that's cool.
His mother lives in town here.
Awesome.
And he was getting ready to move her. He lives in Nashville. His name is Mike Dominguez. And our band was called Watermelon Sugar. Is that not fun? Because Harry Styles has this big hit called Watermelon Sugar. This band was around before Harry Styles was born. So it's just funny. It comes from the poet that Harry Styles stole the idea of the song from as well. And we were pretty much like an REM hybrid Eric Clapton cover band. He's such a neat guy. He came in, he's like, hey, can I play a song with you? I'm like, of course, man. So he grabbed his bass and like I plugged him in and played bass for a minute. It was a cool moment.
That's fun.
It was while I was meeting with some other great gentlemen in the shop. There's this gentleman who just came down from Wake Forest to get a magnetone. Guy's great. He's had a tough year, but super cool dude. I'm hoping that he's starting a YouTube channel soon. We talked about for a while about cars.
Ooh.
But stay tuned for that. We'll let you know if he does. He's working on it. He needs to do it. He's got a voice. He's got a face for radio. No, he's got a great voice and a great face. I was like, oh my God, he's really funny. I hope he does it. I won't say names in case he decides to change his identity and move off to like the Dominican Republic or something, but cause that's where I would go. Or Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Or
Okay,
the place where they fought the starfish in Suicide Squad. I might move there. It's a fake country, I think.
Sadly, I've not seen that one.
It's not good.
Yeah, no, that's what I heard.
But Peacemaker is actually quite funny. I watched half of an episode. I'm slow. No, but Mike, it was great seeing you. If you're watching this out there, best to you and your 5 children. That's crazy. Hardtail Strats.
Hardtail Strats.
If you haven't done it, take a bite out of it. Have some fun with it.
You can even break a string and still be into
Madness
craziness
in Stratocaster. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.